श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं स्तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं भजनाशयितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वञ्चितपदरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, Shubha Deepavali to everyone. It is my good fortune to be in your association today, and we can have a facilitated, focused discussion and a focused meditation on Deepavali and Govardhan Puja. So, Deepavali is a very, very joyous festival that is celebrated throughout, I would say, the world. In ISKCON, it's a very special festival. We all know Diwali and Ramayana. Is there anyone here who does not know of Diwali or Ramayana? Okay, so we will then speak about it based on the sections and not go through it as a story. So, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur has said that Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani, that days like this, festivals like Deepavali, Ekadashi, Janmashtami, they are Bhakti Janani. They are the mother of devotion. What do mothers do? They nourish. Obviously, giving birth, some people might have a birth of their devotion today, but the Bhakti Shakti Janani aspect is the fact that days like this give nourishment to our Krishna consciousness. And therefore, let's really put our intense focus on celebrating this today. There are two ways we could approach this. That's why I asked the question, does anyone not know of Diwali? So we could speak of the pastimes of Lord Ram in sequence. Or as Srila Prabhupada said, ours is a preaching movement. We are preachers. But as preachers, we need to be practitioners as well. So when we meet someone and we tell them to take a book, we need to know what is in the content of the book. And we need to live by that. So I will try to take practical lessons from the various personalities. I wouldn't call them characters, various personalities that are in the Ramayana. And we'll see if we can close up with Govardhan Puja as well. I'm very tight on time. Generally, Ramayana is spoken over 9 days, depending on Valmiki Ramayana's content. But we have now 40 minutes, or 50 minutes to shrink that in. We'll try our best. But let's focus on Lord Ram and the presence and significance of Lord Ram in our life. We know that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, half of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra has Lord Ram in it. Now we know Srila Prabhupada has defined that could be Balaram also, it could be Lord Ram, it could be Parashuram. But on days like this, we focus on Lord Ram. So the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, half of the focus is on the presence of Lord Ram. Srila Prabhupada wanted Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman deities installed across the world. And we see so many ISKCON temples with Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman deities are there. In fact, Srila Prabhupada instructed one of his disciples to install Sitaram Lakshmana Hanuman deities in Washington, D.C. Because he said, Lord Ram is an ideal king, and let's have his presence at the capital of the most powerful country in the world, the US. So, Lord Ram's presence as an ideal king is also significant, and we'll touch on many aspects of that. But in our line, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, there's a devotee called Vasudeva Ghosh, and he's spoken about in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Vasudeva Ghosh has written a very beautiful song, Jaya Jaya Jagannath Sachidananda, in which he says that the same Krishna who performed the pastimes in Vrindavan is the same Lord Ram who killed Ravana in the past, is the same Lord Chaitanya who's holding a staff and a begging pot, and is the same Jagannath who holds a chakra and the conch. So the personality we are speaking about is non-different, and that is the Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva that we will talk. So when we worship, we know we're in the Krishna consciousness movement, but devotees are also in the Ram consciousness movement right here, because it is the same personality. Many times we greet each other with Hari Bol and Hari Krishna, but they're devotees who follow Lord Ram, they will even say Hare Ram. So the presence of Lord Ram is very significant. Lord Chaitanya, when he visited South India in his Dakshin Bharat Yatra, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he visited many places of Lord Ram's pastimes. And in fact, it is said that even the 7 trees that Lord Ram shot an arrow through when Sugriva was testing him were present when Lord Chaitanya was there. Lord Chaitanya embraced and liberated each of those trees to go back home. And even Parikshit Maharaj, so in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the pastimes of Lord Ram come in the 9th canto. And in the 9th canto, Parikshit Maharaj tells, Shukadeva Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that I will tell the story of Lord Ram in a short, condensed summary. Because throughout your life, you have heard of Lord Ram, you have heard the Ramayana. So, Parikshit Maharaj throughout his life had the presence of Lord Ram. And even in the Mahabharata, the text itself, there is a description where Mother Yashoda would put Krishna and Balaram to sleep at night, and she would sing the stories from Ramayana. And at one occasion, when she was singing, she got into a deep emotion. And as Mother Sita, she called out, Hey Ram, and little Krishna, who was being put to sleep, immediately felt the power of Mother Yashoda, and he came in the mood of Lord Ram. Suddenly jumped up and said, Lakshman, bring my bow and arrow. And everyone got confused, what's going on? It's the same personality that is there. Also, today is a significant day because today is the day that the Damodar pastime happened. So again, Mother Yashoda was busy preparing for DEEPAVALI. She was busy cooking, she was busy cleaning the house, putting lamps, and that is the day Krishna wanted to be very naughty. And he wanted her full attention and the whole beautiful pastime of Damodar happened. So today is a multi-significant day. But let's zoom into the Ramayana as a scripture. The Ramayana is present in many countries across the world, and within India itself, There are so many translations or even renditions of Ramayana in different languages. The north there's Tulsidas Goswami's Ramcharitmanas, in the south there's Kamba Ramayana. But the original Sanskrit text was written by Valmiki. Valmiki Maharishi's Ramayana contains 24,000 verses. And it's explained that in the heavenly planets, the Ramayana has 100,000 verses. And if you go to Brahmaloka, the Ramayana contains 10 million verses. Imagine that. Imagine if we had even a few of those verses, how different our lives would be. The Ramayana contains many teachings, but it also contains many significant prayers. In the south of India, there is the Aditya Hridaya Stotra. It's a very beautiful prayer to Lord Suryadev. Now, in the Ramayana, when Lord Ram was fighting Ravana, in the Valmiki Ramayana, Agastya Rishi appeared to him and imparted to him the Aditya Hridaya Stotra. It's a very powerful stotra that is chanted for Suryadev. Also, it's explained that the Gayatri mantra is contained within the Ramayana. The Ramayana contains 24,000 verses, and the Gayatri mantra is 24 verses, or 24 words. And those words are spread throughout the Ramayana. Now, it's not from the starting. The first word of the Valmiki Ramayana starts with Tapa. So it's not in that particular sequence, but it is hidden and it is contained in the Ramayana. So, in the Valmiki Ramayana itself, Brahmaji explains to Valmiki Muni a very significant verse, right at the start. He says, "My dear Valmiki Muni, the Ramayana will exist as long as the mountains and rivers flourish on the surface of this earth." So it is not a historic thing, it is an ever-present thing that will be there until the end of this planet. It is also explained that when Lord Ram wrapped up his pastimes on this planet physically and went back home, many of his devotees went with him, but Hanuman stayed. And our acharyas explained, Hanumanji asked Lord Ram, "Where are you going?" And Lord Ram said, "I'm going to Ayodhya Dham." And this chart, the Goloka chart, is very beautiful because it explains, it shows graphically where Ayodhya is. So we've got the Brahma Jyoti, then above the Brahma Jyoti we have Sadashiva. Above Sadashiva is the Nitya Vaikuntha Lokas, where all the Vishnu expansions reside. Above Vaikuntha Loka is Madhurya Dham, where that Madhurya Ras is present in different flavors. And there the first layer in that Madhurya Dham is Ayodhya. Above that is obviously Dwarka, Mathura, and then the topmost is Goloka Vrindavan. So Lord Ram is in the Madhurya Dham itself. And it's explained, Lord Ram said, "I'm going back to my Nitya Ayodhya Dham." And Hanumanji said, "But what about the fallen souls here?" It says, "As long as your Ramayana exists here, my Lord, I as Hanuman will stay here. And wherever the Ramayana is sincerely chanted and sincerely heard, Hanumanji is present." So we unfortunately don't have the full time to invite Hanumanji by chanting the full Ramayana. But if you have time in your homes, please do. And Lord Hanumanji will physically be present. Now, speaking of Hanumanji, let's dive into certain personalities of the Ramayana and take some learnings. Now, the word Ramayana, which is the combination, and the word Ramayana comes. Ayana, does anyone know what Ayana means?
Mirror.
Well, that's Hindi, but in Sanskrit, Ayana means the journey. Ayana would have been a mirror, but the Lord Ram's journey and his entire life that he felt. Thank you. So, Ramayana means the journey of Lord Ram, and in his journey he met so many different personalities. Let's start with a couple of those, and because everyone knows the Ramayana, we'll jump between various pastimes in the sequence. So let's pick out a very, very wonderful personality. His name was Vibhishan. We all know who was Vibhishan? Ravana's younger brother, yes. And when the three of them were born, who were the three? Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishan. So Ravana and Kumbhakarna and Vibhishan performed intense tapasya for Brahmaji. Ravana and Kumbhakarna asked for material boons. Then when Brahmaji came to Vibhishan and asked him, "What would you like?" Vibhishan said, "I only want eternal devotional service to Lord Ram." Yet, Vibhishan was the brother and lived in Lanka itself. So, as a devotee of Lord Ram, who's eternally a devotee of Lord Ram, eternally chanting the names of Lord Ram, he's living in Lanka. Imagine the environment that he's living in. To be a sadhaka in that environment. Now, In the Sundarkand, it's explained when Hanumanji jumps into Lanka, the kind of things that are happening there. So much meat, so much intoxication, they're wrestling, so many unclean activities. And in there, so Hanumanji spent the entire night looking at every nook and cranny, looking at every corner of Lanka, trying to find Sita Devi. And then just at the morning time, Brahma Muhurta time, he comes across a beautiful home in which the symbols of Vishnu have been painted outside in Lanka. And the personality who is living in that house wakes up, because it's now Brahma Muhurta, he wakes up to do his japa. He wakes up and he chants Ram, Ram, Ram. And hearing that, Hanumanji is in ecstasy. Like, how is this possible? In such an environment, that Vibhishan, this personality is chanting Ram's name. Now, Lord Ram knew that Mother Sita was in the south. Ravan had taken her. And his messenger, Hanumanji, was sent to find Mother Sita. But in that entire process, it's our Acharyas explained the internal reason Hanumanji was sent was to meet Vibhishan and to give Vibhishan a bit of nourishment. So when Hanumanji heard Ram, Ram, Ram from the house, he was shocked. So he said, I need to meet this personality. This is a devotee of Lord Ram. You can see Tulsi outside his home, the symbols of Lord Vishnu. So he also chanted Ram, Ram, Ram. And Vibhishan heard this and he was shocked. So this is Lanka. How is someone chanting Lord Ram? So he immediately runs out. When you meet someone outside your home for the first time, what do you typically say? Hare Krishna, how are you? The first thing Vibhishan said, are you okay? Are you fine? He looked him up and down, are you healthy? And he said, yeah, why? He said, because I am the only person who's been given the license to chant the name of Lord Ram. Anyone else who chants the name of Lord Ram will be killed. Imagine the kind of environment he was living in. And Hanumanji asked him, like, how are you living in this place? And he said, I live, and the example he gives is very beautiful. I live in Lanka like the tongue lives between sharp teeth. A beautiful analogy. You have to stay protected. Now, think about it. We are all sadhakas in our different capacities. How many of us live in environments or work in environments in our office or in our extended family where devotees are not present? And they perform non-devotional activities, non-sattvic activities, non-dharmic activities. In that, we have to remain fixed. And we take inspiration from Vibhishan on no matter what happens, he does not deviate from Dharma. Because that is his internal identity, internal meditation on Lord Ram. And today is a day we can pray to Vibhishan. Please give us that same enthusiasm. Is everyone here in a beautiful sattvic environment in your office? No. When we are working, when we are in our businesses, we deal with clients, we deal with so many people, and it's very difficult. But if Vibhishan can empower us with his blessings, then we can also remain Krishna conscious in some way. Now Vibhishan, from the time Ravana kidnapped Mother Sita, he was always against Ravana. Please return Mother Sita. Please return Mother Sita. What you've done is wrong. In the Ramayana, it's explained his daughter would go and visit Mother Sita and give her food. His wife would go and give her, some comfort. Don't worry, Lord Ram will come. And at the culmination, when Lord Ram's army reached the south, after Hanumanji came, burnt the Lanka, came back to Ram, they investigated, they found the entire army went. Then Vibhishan went to Ram and said, now is the last chance. Please go and surrender to Lord Ram. Ravan kicked him out, completely kicked him out of his country. Lost everything, his wealth. He had to leave, he had to flee as a refugee. So he took 5 of his ministers and he went across. He said, the only place I have now is Lord Ram. The only shelter I have is Lord Ram. And that is intense surrendership, right? When your only shelter is Lord Ram. So he then flies across the ocean. Now remember, he's a demon. He's in a demon body. He has the ability to fly. He has the ability to change shapes. He has the ability to change forms. But he approached Lord Ram exactly as he was. A demon, he had his weapons, it's explained. He came with his weapons and his ministers, looking as fearsome as he was. And when he came across, the monkeys were all fully prepared because they knew the Rakshasas could attack. And when he came across, they stopped him. Who are you? Stop right there. He said, he did not even conceal his identity. He could have said, I'm just a devotee of Lord Ram. He could have said, I am seeking shelter, I am from Lanka. He introduced himself, I am the son, I am the brother of Ravana. I am here to take shelter of Lord Ram. And that beautiful pastime there of the discussion between the monkeys and Lord Ram is very, very sweet. I would really recommend you please read that. It's in the it's in the Sundarkand, Yuddhakand. And so the second lesson we learn from Vibhishan, other than staying fulfilled, is when we approach the Lord as you are. No disguises, no fake masks, no change of hidden personalities. You come as you are. And when that happens, Lord Ram was discussing with the monkeys, what should we do about Vibhishan? Many of the monkeys had killed him, make him a prisoner. But in the 33rd and 34th verse of the Yuddhakand, Lord Ram makes a solemn declaration, which is a lot of solace for all the devotees. Lord Ram says, and these are his words, he who seeks refuge in me just once, telling me that, Lord Ram, I am yours, I shall give him assurance of safety against all types of beings, and that is my solemn pledge. I will accept him. And then Lord Ram says, O Sugriva, monkey, chief of the monkeys, let him either be Vibhishan or even Ravan. Let Ravan come. I will give him all shelter. So that is a significant, it's a peak of the Ramayana in terms of the mercy that Lord Ram gives. So again, perform your dharma sincerely as Vibhishan and come before the Lord as you are, knowing very well, even if you say once, that the Lord will accept you. Now, speaking of Sugriva, let's look at Sugriva as a second personality. Sugriva, he's a different personality. He's the son of Surya. He's the king of the monkeys. But he's the brother of Vali. And so Vali took his kingdom. There was a bit of a disagreement, and again, in the interest of time, I will shorten that. Vali took his wife, took away his kingdom, threw him out, again, similar to Vibhishan. And Vali was about to kill him. But then he went and took shelter of Rishyamukh mountain. But he was constantly disturbed. So when Lord Ram and Lakshman were coming for the first time, he had this doubt. Who are these people? So he sent Hanuman in, and Hanumanji came, and Hanumanji introduced, my dear King Sugriva, this is Lord Ram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now imagine if a minister as powerful and as pure as Hanumanji says, this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram. Sugriva should have just completely accepted. But Sugriva, being in that state of mind, was very doubtful. So he tested Lord Ram twice. Can you imagine that? You test the Lord. How strong are you, Lord Ram? We've seen you broken a bow, but Vali is very strong. How can you fight him? So he tested him twice. And one was to kick the carcass of a demon that Vali had thrown. He said, Vali could throw it. If you can throw, then you're as strong as Vali. Then maybe there's an equal match. And Lord Ram quietly accepted it. But Lakshman was not happy. How could he do that? Hanumanji was not happy. The second thing he accepted was to shoot an arrow through a Tala Vriksha. Tala Vriksha, in the Krishna Balaram pastime, the Hirukasur, those are hard, thick trees. So Vali could shoot an arrow through one and it would completely penetrate and come out of the Tala tree. So Sugriva said, can you do the same? Then you're equal to Vali. I mean, this is ridiculous. How do you test the Supreme Personality of God? And Lord Ram quietly smiled, took an arrow, went through 7 of the Tala Vrikshas in one shot, went right through Mother Earth and came back in his quiver. And then Sugriva was, okay, now you are equivalent. But the fact that he's so doubtful and he's so much in grief, he's even doubting the Supreme Lord. And there's so many lessons we can take. But understand that when we go through difficulties, I think everyone goes through difficulties, right? We go through challenges, we go through difficulties. Let that not interfere with our faith in the Lord. And in all of this, he ignored Lakshman. And in trying to serve Lord Ram and trying to get his kingdom back, he ignored the service to Lakshman. So when Lord Ram first came, he gave Lord Ram a seating place, but he ignored Lakshman. So then Hanumanji saw that Lakshman doesn't have a seating place. Hanumanji went and got a better seat, bigger, more beautiful, made of sandalwood, and gave that to Lakshman. So when Vali and Sugriva fought, Sugriva got a big pounding from Vali the first round. He was beaten to pulp. And then he comes back. And Lord Ram, and he explains, like, why did you just do this? Lord Ram explains, I couldn't see the difference between you and Vali, but Lakshman put on a garland to Sugriv. And Sugriv for the first time bowed down before Lakshman to get the garland. And that is again the other lesson we can learn from Sugriv. The second lesson from Sugriv, we should always have that. What does Lakshman represent? Sheshnag, but he also represents Guru. Guru. In our grief, we should always be taking shelter of Guru. So that is Sugriv. Then after he got his kingdom back, he completely forgot about Lord Ram. Lord Ram said, in the 4 months, go find, send your messengers and let's find Mother Sita. Completely forgot. So he went from the one end of the spectrum of completely miserable to the other end of the spectrum, completely in bliss, because he's enjoying. He got his kingdom back, he got his wife back, he got his second wife, Tara, Vali's wife, on the blessings of Lord Ram. And he has all the luxuries that he completely forgot. And therefore, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, we must always remain in equilibrium. Now, if any of us had the chance to spend 4 months with Lord Ram, it was raining, there was nowhere you could go, like where would you be? You'd be watching the Cricket World Cup, or you'd be with Lord Ram. We'd always, be with Lord Ram. That's the opportunity that we have. And therefore Krishna says, be in equilibrium, be grounded as you are, where you are. Now speaking of grounding, let's look at Bharat. And again, I'm trying to, take practical lessons that we can apply. And hopefully this is some value that you all can take. So Bharat, again, a very, very deep personality, but went through so much hardships. Bharat as a personality, at the time that Mother Kaikeyi demanded the 2 boons from Dasharath Maharaj, Bharat wasn't there. And he wasn't there, but she declared, no, Bharat must be the king. Without checking with him, without seeking his approval. He was in his grandfather's place, Kaikeyi Desh, and he had a dream that Dasharath Maharaj has passed away, and he woke up in serious anxiety, like what has happened? And just that same day, messengers from Ayodhya came, very serious, very brave. Please, Bharat, you are requested to return. And he kept asking them, what happened? How is my father? How is my brother? Is anything wrong? And they didn't say anything, so they were requested to return. When he enters Ayodhya, even the gatekeepers, the guard, the army, everyone is scowling at him, not looking at him like this. You are the cause of Lord Ram going into the forest. They went through so much agony of losing Lord Ram, and they're all blaming Bharat. But was he to blame?
No.
No. He wasn't there. He didn't ask for it. He didn't request this to happen. And yet he was the recipient of all that blame. Has anyone here gone through a scenario, even a molecule of that, where you are unjustly treated?
Yeah.
Unfairly treated? And many of us, like, sometimes, we think, Lord Ram, these are your devotees. They're treating me unjustly. Lord Ram says, the devotees who live in Ayodhya are ati priya. They are very dear to me. Everyone is dear to me. But those who live in Ayodhya, Ayodhya Vasis are looking at Bharat. Like, you are the cause of this. And he was in utter shock. And then he went in, and he found out his father had passed away. And Lord Ram is in the forest. He was in deep shock, deep agony. And at that time, he completely rejected his mother. And even his guru, Vashishta, came to him. Now, Vashishta is the guru of the Surya Vansh. We have 2 Vamshas, right? Surya and Chandra Vansh, yes. Lord Ram is in the Surya Vamsha and Krishna is in the Chandra Vamsha. And Vashishta Muni has been the guru of the Surya Vansh since the time it started. And even his guru said, well, Bharat, you got what you wanted, now the kingdom is yours. Come and take the throne. And he was completely in agony. Now imagine, you have received so much grief. You've lost your father, you've lost your brother, who to him was more than his life. It's explained that the love between Lord Ram and Bharat is undescribable. Lord Ram would lose when they were young, they were shooting arrows at a target. Lord Ram would intentionally lose to make Bharat win. There was so much love. And Bharat had the same love. And now Bharat has lost Lord Ram as well. And now he's being given the kingdom. And his resolve was unshaken. No matter what happens, I will not take this throne because it belongs to Lord Ram. how many lessons can we take from this? One, when we are treated unfairly, when we go through harsh moments, let's not lose our faith in Krishna. And again, the way I've been taught by my Shiksha Gurus is, even on days like this, we can pray to Bharat and Vibhishan and these personalities. Because these are devotees of Lord Ram and they carry the Shakti to enable us with that same faith, at least even a molecule. Let me not get shaken up in these difficulties. Then Bharat resolved, I will go bring Lord Ram back. And when he went, even there's so many pastimes, Bharadwaj Muni also thought, Bharat, you're guilty of this. Guha, Lord Ram's friend, and everyone just misunderstood Bharat. A personality completely misunderstood. And many times we feel misunderstood, right? In our families, in our workplace, amongst devotees, we feel like no one understands us. I'm trying to do some good, trying to do some sincere devotion, and yet I'm misjudged. Let's not lose hope, because if Bharat can empower us, if he goes to that level of unfair treatment, and he still remains fully fixed, then we can take lessons from him. So Bharat went to Lord Ram in Chitrakoot. He wanted him to please come back. And it's explained that he was going with so much devotion that the stones were melting as he was going towards Lord Ram. And the demigods thought, oh my God, if the stones are melting, Lord Ram will definitely melt and go back. What will happen? And then they somehow intervened, and Lord Ram said, I accept Bharat, the kingdom, but I will come after 14 years and take it. And 14 years of life that Lord Ram spent, Bharat spent even more austere. He did not take any of the facilities as a king. He lived exactly in the same conditions as a beggar. And he had the sandals of Lord Ram as the worship. So he would keep the sandals on the throne. So he would tell anyone who would come to him as the king, "Oh king, we need more budget, we need more money." He said, "No, I'm not the king. You go ask the sandals." And everyone, people with sandals are not going to approve a budget. Please, no, I am just a representative. And when it came to collection of taxes, I'm a representative. Get all the taxes. The treasury of Lord Ram of Ayodhya increased 27-fold in the king when Bharat was a king. That much intensity. So again, let's use this time to pray to personalities like Bharat and Vibhishan. But a more brilliant and effulgent, we cannot speak about Lord Ram's pastimes until we speak about Hanumanji. So Hanumanji is a very brilliant, effulgent and prominent personality in the Ramayana. There are many, many practical lessons that we can take from Hanumanji's pastimes, and I wish we had more time, but I'll try and jump through a couple of those. So when all the monkeys that were searching for Mother Sita came to the south, they came to the shore. And at the shore they met who? A bird. What was the name of the bird? Sampati. Sampati was a vulture. He was the brother of Jatayu. And Jatayu helped fight Ravan when he was kidnapping Sita. And then Sampati told him, no, I have, as a vulture I'm able to see very far. I'm seeing Mother Sita sitting in an Ashoka tree, under an Ashoka tree in Lanka, 100 yojanas away from here. It's an island. A yojana is 8 miles. So 800 miles away from here is Mother Sita. So who's going to go to Lanka? Someone who can jump 800 miles. All the monkeys were thinking, wow, how are we going to do this? And Jambavan was the bear who was the leader of that group. Now mind you, Jambavan was there when Vamana Dev came. It's explained, he said that when Trivikrama, when Vamana took the form of the 3 steps, Jambavan took a circumambulation of Vamana Dev, so he was that powerful. Jambavan is also in the Krishna Leela. His daughter Jambavati was married to Krishna. So he's a very, very important personality. So he started riding the monkeys. Come on, we can do this, 800 miles, who's going to jump? Then one monkey meekly said, I can do 50 miles. He said, great. And the other monkeys got inspired. 50? I can do 75 miles. Another said, I can do 200 miles. And like this, I can do 400 miles. One monkey was like, and everyone's getting riled up and happy. And like, yes, we need a little bit more. We're nearly there. And then one monkey said, I can do 900 miles. Should I go? And Jambavan said, you're going to drown. We need 100 miles. We need someone who can go 100 miles. Then Angad said, I can do 100 miles, and everyone started, 100 yojanas, and everyone started cheering. He said, but there's always that but I cannot come back, or I doubt if I can come back. And then our acharyas explained, how is it? You're able to jump, but not able to come back? It doesn't make sense. And then Jambavat was looking around, every monkey has spoken, but Hanumanji sitting at the back. On a rock, eyes closed, what is he doing? Chanting Lord Ram's name. Ram, 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 Ram. So Jambavan goes to him and says, hey Hanumanji, why aren't you saying anything? Look, everyone is saying 100 miles, 200 miles, 400 miles, 900 miles. Angad can go 800 miles. Why aren't you saying anything? And Hanumanji says a very, very important thing. Hanumanji says, all of them are going on their accord, on their own strength. They're saying, I can jump, I can jump. He says, I'm not going on my strength. I'm going on the strength of Lord Ram's mercy, on Lord Ram's blessing. It's so important. Our abilities, Krishna says, I am the ability in humans. Our ability is the blessings of Lord Ram. Our ability to jump across. Now, who had the ring? Did Angad have the ring? No. Or Hanumanji had the ring. So it was obvious Hanumanji was going to jump. But he's sitting there calmly. Yeah. And then Jambavan wakes him up and explains, hey, remember, you are extremely powerful. You're the son of Vayu. You have all the blessings of all the devatas. And he got energized and he got empowered. And he made a very big form and was about to jump. Before he took the jump, he told the monkeys, please, everyone stay here and wait till I come back. And why did he say wait till I come back? He could have said, please go and inform Lord Ram that I'm going to Lanka. But that would have been pride, right? That would have been arrogant. As a team player, he always wanted the shared credit to the entire team. So he said, wait here till I come back, we'll all go together. And together we'll take the credit that the search party that went to the south, they found Mother Sita. And I'll just fast forward and I'll come back. But when that search party went back with Hanumanji, Lord Ram was in anticipation. He wanted to hear. And Hanumanji came right in front of Lord Ram. And he said something very beautiful. He said, Sita found I. He didn't say, I found Sita, it was me. You know, with the young kids do that, I did it. He didn't do that. He first put Mother Sita's name in front. That gave a lot of joy to Lord Ram. Found I. Minute, very small. And then, so let's rewind back to the jump. So when Hanumanji jumps across, he comes across 4 obstacles. Or 4 personalities when he meets. The first personality he meets, so he's jumped across and he's going with intense power. It's explained that it's like a comet. All the flowers came off with him off the mountain as he's flying through. And then the first personality he meets is a golden mountain. The mountain comes out of the ocean. Anyone know the name? Surasa is second. So Manaka mountain. Manaka comes out. And Manaka says, I am the friend of your father, Vayudev. He saved my life. Please take some rest for me. And Hanumanji said, oh, you are the friend of my father, I offer you my pranam, but I am in the service of Lord Rama. I cannot take rest. He puts his hand on the mountain and he carries on. Now imagine, he literally just recently got his powers back. He could have smashed the mountain. But no, he used his intelligence. The second was Surasa, as you said, Mataji. Surasa was the mother of the Nagas. Now we also know from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Kashyapa Muni had a wife who was the mother of the serpents, Kadru. But this is a different Surasa. So she said, I've been given the boon by Brahma that no one can pass me until they enter my mouth. So I have to eat, you have to enter my mouth. And Hanumanji said, my time is running out, I need to come back. I need to find Mother Sita. And she said, no, nothing doing, you have to. She said, okay. And Hanumanji makes himself 2 yojanas tall. Surasa says, wow. She opens her mouth 4 yojanas. Hanumanji becomes 8 yojanas. She becomes 16 yojanas. Hanumanji becomes 32 yojanas. She becomes 100 yojanas. Now imagine if now Hanumanji thought, if I become 200 yojanas, I'll be, one part of me will be with Lord Ram and one part will be with Mother Sita. And like this, they were becoming bigger and bigger. And suddenly Hanumanji became the size of a thumb, went inside her mouth. In fact, it said it went down to her stomach, checked all the organs are fine and safe. And then he comes out, and by the time she closes her mouth and says, what happened? She says, see, I fulfilled the boon of Brahma. I've gone in your mouth, please let me go. Now, Surasa is very happy. She blesses him. Hanumanji, you will be successful. So the first obstacle was the mountain. The mountain represents, in our life, laziness. When we're in the service of Lord Ram, rest. We can rest when we take samadhi. Let's focus on our services. Easier said than done, I know. The second obstacle, Surasa, is about showing off, pride. Like, I am bigger, I am better, I am better than you, I can do more books, I can do more Sankirtan, I can do more Pujari Seva. Like that, we can always be trying to show who's bigger. But Hanumanji showed, in that case, take humility, take the small size and go through. Then Hanumanji, after Surasa blessed him, he went on, he met a third personality. Does anyone know the name? That was a demoness called Senika. That Senika would capture the shadow of flying, any bird or any being flying over, and pull them down, capture the black shadow and pull them down and eat them. So like that, Hanumanji was caught. He was literally stopped in mid-air. Surasa pulled him down and swallowed him. He ripped her up completely, she got liberated, and he came out. Now Surasa represents another obstacle, anartha as devotees. We look for the dark side in everyone, the shadow. Every one of us has a good and a bad. By holding on to that dark thing, pulling someone down, it does not help anyone. The best way is to cut through that completely. Then Hanumanji lands in Lanka. And there he meets, the first person he meets in Lanka is a demoness by the name Lankini. And Lankini was given also the responsibility to be the guardian of Lanka. And she stops him. Like, who are you? How are you able to go past me? He said, I'm a servant of Lord Ram. And Lankini stops him. Like, no. She actually pushes him. He punches her, but he kind of holds his hand back. Because it's a multitude, it's a lady, it's a female demoness. But he holds his hand back. But she collapses, she's vomiting blood, and she then wakes up immediately and says, my pranams to you. Brahmaji had told me that the day a monkey hits me and makes me unconscious is the day that the Ravana race, the Rakshasa race will end. So she knew that this is Hanumanji. And in the Tulsidas Goswami's Ramcharitmanas, she gives a very beautiful explanation. And again, as a servant of Lord Chaitanya, Tulsidas Goswami's verse is very beautiful. She says that all the joy of liberation, or all the joys in this material world put together, will not give the joy of a moment's association with pure devotion. The Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha. Because in that one moment of association with Hanumanji, she was liberated. And that's why let's take the association of devotees very seriously. The devotee association is very important. So Hanumanji then found Mother Sita, the entire war happened, the bridge was built, 100 yojanas wide, 800 yojanas long. Over many days the battle was fought, and Vibhishan was then made king, Mother Sita was reunited, and all the devotees went back in the Pushpaka Viman, which is the aerial chariot of Ravana. And all the monkeys came on board. So, Hanuman, Angad, Nal, Neel, Sugriv, everyone came, all the monkeys. And the Valmiki Ramayana explains there are the numbers that he gives, it's unbelievable. It's like, if I have more time I can explain them. It's a Maha Oga, which is like a few hundred decimal points, or to the power of a few hundred numbers. So that is how many monkeys all climbed on board. Mother Sita, Ram, Lakshmana there. And they're going across. And then they stop in Kishkinda. And Mother Sita says, these monkeys have served you so much, Lord Ram. I want their wives to also join us. So all the monkeys' wives also came on board. And then they all reached Ayodhya on this beautiful day. So 14 years are very long. After 14 long years, Lord Ram reunites with everyone. And the celebration that happens in Ayodhya it's very hard to describe in words. Today is also Amavasya, which means there's no moon. So it's a dark night, and Lord Ram came by the time it was night. and in the entire Ayodhya. So he first came to Nandigram where Bharat was, and from there they all went. And from Nandigram to Ayodhya, they had lit up millions of lamps. The entire Ayodhya was so lit up that it felt like it was day. Can you imagine that? It's so beautiful. So many lamps, so many rangolis, so many torans of mango leaves, and auspicious colors were being thrown. Lord Ram was back. And the joyous celebration cannot be described, because Lord Ram left alone. He left with Lakshman and Sita here. Now he's back with all four of his brothers. Imagine, Mother Sita is back with her sister, Urmila, and her two cousin sisters, Mandavi and Shrutikirti, the wives of Bharat and Shatrugna. And Janak Maharaj is there, all the four mothers. Obviously we missed Dasharath Maharaj, but everyone is there. Now there's Vibhishan and this new ally that they have from Lanka, and all the monkeys, and together they're celebrating Lord Ram's arrival back in Ayodhya. So the festival is very, very joyous, and it is collectively performed. Just like Diwali, we'll move over into Govardhan Leela. Actually, before that, I'll take another step back. When the bridge was being built, and all the monkeys were looking for big, big mountains, big boulders that they could throw, and they would combine it together, write Lord Ram's name, and the bridge, the stones would float. So the monkeys were going further up north. Let's get more and more big, big mountains, and they were throwing them in the ocean. Like that, Hanumanji was going further north. He's very powerful, he's very fast. And he came to a particular tract of land. Very beautiful land, 84 square miles. Anyone getting a hint where I'm going with this? 84 square miles. And so beautiful, tulsi plants there. And he sees a beautiful mountain. And he's like, wow, this mountain can serve Lord Ram. And that mountain is none other than Giriraj Govardhan. And that Giriraj Govardhan in the Srimad Bhagavatam is explained as described as Haridasa Variga, the topmost devotee. And Govardhan is ecstatic. I've been waiting from Satyayuga, and I've been waiting for so long, I just cannot wait to serve Lord Ram. His lotus feet will be on my head. Hanumanji, please take me. And just as Hanumanji was about to lift, there was a announcement made by the Devatas, because they knew, oh, if Govardhan goes, what's going to happen to Krishna's pastimes? So they made an announcement, the bridge is built, Hanumanji, please don't worry, please come back. We have to take Lord Ram across. And Hanumanji said, okay. And then he went, and Govardhan was sad, he was crying. And it's explained that Krishna appeared to him and said, don't worry, I will appear soon, and we'll have unlimited pastimes. So the Govardhan pastime, the next 5 minutes, again, when Krishna wakes up in the morning, Mother Yashoda dresses him, dresses Balaram, Nanda Maharaj is there, giving them so much embraces, and they're looking so beautiful, they're having their breakfast in the morning, and Mother Yashoda's ecstasy is unbounding, and then Krishna leaves and her heart is broken. Krishna is going to the forest. And the cowherd boys are now ecstatic. Finally, we get to spend some time with Krishna. And they spend time with Krishna, having so much fun. The calves and cows are so ecstatic. They're all trying to be with Krishna. And Krishna is enjoying the ecstasy of that Sakyaras, the friendliness. And then when they come back, the Gopas are heartbroken. Oh, Krishna's not going back in his home. Mother Yashoda is super happy that, Krishna is back. And then in the evening, at night, Krishna spends time with the gopis. So like that, there was always someone who Krishna was not with. And they all felt like, why can't I spend all the time with Krishna? And the external reason that Krishna performed this pastime was to obviously humble Indra, who was getting a little proud. But the internal reason, and again, Krishna is always Rasaraj. He's always focused on giving ecstasies to his devotees. So he lifted Govardhan. And for 7 days and 7 nights, all devotees were together all the time. So the elderly Gopas, Yashoda, Nanda, all the cowherd boys, all the cows, all the gopis, 7 days and 7 nights. Amazing festival. No need for sleep, no need for rest, no need for a break, no need to check your social media. Everyone was in utter ecstasy because Krishna was connecting with each devotee on a personal level. And at a personal level, each devotee was connecting with Jai Giriraj Maharaj Jai. So all the devotees were ecstatically exchanging their love with Krishna. Both of these festivals, very much similar. Collective, all rasas collectively being exchanged with Lord Ram in Diwali, and all rasas being exchanged with Krishna under Govardhan Hill. So very, very beautiful festival, very auspicious time. It's explained that Mother Yashoda was in anxiety. Krishna, how long are you going to hold on the little finger of your left hand? Your finger must be tired, take a break. And her bhavana as her feelings as the mother. And the Sakhas were saying, no, we're going to hold up Govardhan with our cowherd sticks. And they were trying, no, see, it's us. And Mother Mangal said, no, Mother Yashoda, it's actually me. Because I'm a Brahmana, all my purity and my mantras that I'm chanting, that's how Krishna is holding the hill up. He's just I defeat him in wrestling. He's not that strong. But it's my powers as a Brahmana. And all the gopis were so ecstatically looking at Krishna. And Krishna was, in a way, he was able to see every devotee eye to eye and completely feel their love and feel their, and reciprocate with them in a very beautiful way. So that is Govardhan pastime, and I think I will stop here. Thank you very much for your kind attention and for tolerating me speaking. I think we have a few minutes if there's any question. Yes, bro.
I have read Tulsidas Ramayana,
yes.
You are mentioning about Valmiki Ramayana.
Yes.
That's so good. But can you tell where there is a mention of Govardhan Hill in Tulsidas Ramayana?
No, it's not in Tulsidas Goswami's Ramcharitmanas. The Govardhan Hill pastime is from the books of our six acharyas. So it is not.
You are telling about Valmiki Ramayana. He is called Adikavi.
He's called Adikavi, that's right.
Now, can you tell which chapter of Valmiki Ramayana is Govardhan Hill?
So the Valmiki Ramayana, the Govardhan Hill is neither from the Valmiki Ramayana, it's neither from the Ramcharitmanas. So I quoted the Ramcharitmanas as well when Hanumanji met Lankini.
Yes.
So this is from the books of our acharyas, the six Goswamis. It's not from the Valmiki
I
Ramayana.
think you are telling a Ramayana, you know much about India. These days, there are lectures all over India, by some guru,
Yes.
Say, I will convert India into Hindustan.
Yes.
There are many problems there, I think I don't want to tell you here, because it will take much this time. And he is telling you right and all this, there are many problems. So, actually, we are told about the brave deeds of Lord Hanuman, Hanuman, and how he served Radha, and how he served Sita and Ram,
Yes.
So I just wanted to tell you also that this Ramayana is being many incidents of Ramayana are being told in India, all over India, by some godly person. I think you know that. Maybe I presume that.
There are many who speak Ramcharitmanas as well.
Yes. So, okay, I will try to, but you can tell me the source where Govardhan Hill is mentioned in Ramayana.
Sure. It's not mentioned in the Ramayana.
Any
I'll give you the name of the text.
And give me a copy of it or something like this.
Sure, I will have to check at the back if there are books there. But again, sure.
Okay.
There are many problems of India and the world that the Ramayana can solve. By living to the standards that are taught in the Ramayana and the Ramcharitmanas as well, many people can solve the problems. Again, Ram Rajya is interpreted in many different ways, but we can take this offline. You had a question, bro?
Can you speak a little bit about Shatrughan? About Shatrughan?
Shatrughan.
Yeah.
Shatrughan is a very special personality. He's the youngest brother in amongst all four. Very powerful warrior. Whenever he would fight, the Shatrus would shake in terror. That was Shatrughan. One of his services was to deal with the internals within Ayodhya. So Bharat had taken a vow he will never enter a city. So he managed the entire Ayodhya from Nandihar. Shatrughan was inside and he was doing the entire management there. And if there's any armies that would attack, he would be the one dealing with those. And at the end, It's explained that Bharat and Shatrughna, when Lord Ram came, were given other assignments. Bharat was sent to start a university, which Takshila in the north, and Shatrughna was also sent to do more services. Now, I believe he was sent towards Mathura, and there he performed more services in the service of Lord.
Yeah, because I hear that he's the devotee of a devotee. He was very devoted to Lord Bharat.
Bharat, yes.
So he was more in that sense.
Yes.
Very good devotee.
Das always.
Yeah.
Lakshmana was the same for Lord Ram. So I see the conscious here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.